So, mas mahirap ba mag-aral sa isang New Zealand university as compared sa local university in the Philippines? With this vlog, I'll talk about how different is a New Zealand university versus a Philippine university in terms of difficulty level. Just a quick background sa akin. I had the experience of studying in UP Los Baños and UP Diliman back in college. So my basis of comparison will be in that context. I'm not familiar with the curriculum of other universities in the Philippines. I'm just familiar with UP. So I'll just be speaking for myself here. So gaano ba kahirap mag-aral sa isang New Zealand university? When I came to New Zealand to study, that was one of my biggest worries. Why? Because I was never the bright student. I wasn't allowed it in college. I was never the one who excelled academically above others. I wasn't even among the smart ones. Back in UP, I'd say I was pretty average, especially in engineering. Sometimes I'd get a high grade, most of the time, hindi. I remember there were lots of assignments, quizzes, problem sets, exams, projects na talaga namang nakakaubos ng lakas. Let's just say that I studied really hard, nagsunog ng kilay ika nga, and in the end, I didn't come out on top. I just passed. And it's okay. It is what it is, right? But what I recall that helped me a lot was the sense of camaraderie amongst batchmates. There were lots of group studies, tanungan, kopyahan, joke, walang ganon, sharing of knowledge. So that was integral, at least for me, and I think for a lot of people as well who went to college. Now, sa University of Auckland, or UOA, what I noticed different first was the quantity of courseworks. Like I mentioned earlier, in UP back in college, we would juggle with exams, quizzes, assignments, projects, problem sets per subject. In UOA, most papers, that's what we call subjects, just have two types of courseworks, assignments and exams. Now what's interesting is when you say assignment here, it's not like ours where you do it overnight. Assignments are pretty broad. It could be a lab report, a research paper, a long problem set, or anything actually. But it's not something you do overnight. Most assignments would actually take weeks to do and would require you to do lots of research. As in researching using credible academic resources, using formal citations, or using a software, or doing some coding. So an assignment here takes a lot of work. In a semester, for an example, you could have like 3 assignments and then an exam in the end for one paper. Then you could have like 4 assignments and 2 exams in another paper. Or you could even have 6 assignments and no exams in one paper. Now for me personally, this one is the scariest. Why? Because of the usual grade weighting that comes with it. Pag ganitong setup kasi, madalas, sa engineering at least, all of the assignments combined would comprise like just 30% of your final grade, and the remaining 70% would come from your final exam. Yep, you heard it right. So it means majority of your grade will depend on that one exam. And in my experience, nakakakaba talaga yung ganyan. Like, you know you can't mess it up. So speaking of exams, how hard are exams? Exams. I'd say it's definitely not easy. The quality of exam, it's quite hard. A bit on par with their exams back in UP. But yeah, exams in UOA are relatively hard, challenging, requires matrabahong problem solving, and final exams have a format of 3 hours sit down. So masasabi mong nakakasabaw din siya ng utak. But I guess the difference with exams in UOA engineering is that you can be assured na lahat ng lalabas ay nanggaling sa mga naituro sa klase or sa mga available resources or the viewers. Unlike yung ibang exams namin noon sa UP wherein would be like, huh? Ano to? Wala namang ganitong tinuro ah. So yeah, exams in UOA are challenging din, scary, but it's not a mountain you can't overcome pag nag-aral ka sufficiently. Sufficiently, that's the key word. Hindi yung nag-aral ka the day before. Now as I mentioned, available resources. That's also a huge difference. Because in UOA, they have a very organized online platform for students where all resources are uploaded by the professors. The online library also has a huge database for almost everything you need, from books to manuscripts to articles or even past exam problems. Pag malapit na yung exams, most professors would also upload solution sets from their previous exams. So marami-rami kang magagamit na material for reviewer. And what I miss the most is the special access you get by just being an official student enrolled in the university when it comes to online publishers of journal articles. Some journal articles kasi are not open access, like you'll have to pay for a subscription to be able to access them. But with the university credentials, I can just use it to sign in to, say, Science Direct or Springer to be able to access and download any journal article I need. And this is really helpful, or even necessary, when you're doing research. So wala mang group studies, which is what happened in my case, kinaya naman, with the abundance of resources available. Back in UP, I remember, medyo sariling sikap makalikom ng resources eh. Sometimes you would rely sa mga database ng orgs na nakolate nila over the years, or sariling notes na tinitake mo during lectures. In UOA, All slides professors use during lecture as well as the recording of the lecture itself are uploaded in the online platform. So pwede mong balik-balikan for review. And yung mga professors, magagaling din magturo. And that brings me to my last part, yung turo. Now, back in UP, I have nothing negative to say sa quality ng pagtuturo because we know naman na some professors or instructors have their own style of teaching and us students sometimes just have different expectations. But definitely, there were really good professors when I was in UP. Now, in UOA, yeah, magaling magturo yung mga professors. Or at least you know that they come very prepared. Or at the very least, they come. They don't cut classes. Never happened. I mean, to me personally. So kahit na dalawa lang yung estudyanteng pumasok, magtuturo pa rin sila. Why? I guess kasi yung lecture will be recorded which other students will use as reference. So obligado silang pumasok at magturo. And ayun nga, yung quality ng pagtuturo, knowledge-wise, they're really good. I guess yung medyo struggle lang paminsan for me is yung English accent or enunciation of some professors. Like I would struggle a bit or have to listen attentively with some professors who are Indian or Japanese or even Caucasians who speak English really fast. But overall, they're really good and smart, and when you ask them a question, they would accommodate you. But they're not that accessible outside of class. Like if you have to set an appointment with them, it has to be within their available time. So that's pretty much how studying in University of Auckland was like. And take note also that my experience was for engineering. Mechanical engineering to be specific. And it's a taught program, meaning the conventional format. May classes, assignments, and all. The other type kasi for those who plan to do masters is a research type, wherein you just do a research for the entirety of your study. So usually it will include conducting experiments, data collection, simulations, and the likes, but no classes. So I hope you learned a thing or two sa vlog na to. I don't intend to intimidate anyone sa level of difficulty na pag-aaral sa New Zealand. It's actually the opposite. I want to encourage you. In my case na lang, like I said, I was never among the smartest guys in class back in college. I had my fair share of failures, but I finished with first-class honors in UOA, which is one of the highest ranked universities in the world. And that is because 1. I did my part of studying really hard and being responsible and working on my assignments. And 2. I always prayed to God. I mean, at the end of the day, everything we have naman, including the smarts, galing naman din sa Kanya. So you can always pray for support and mental sustenance. So thank you for watching this vlog. Peace out.